There's a drug in there, no question about it. When you dehydrate that stuff, it forms a drug that causes an addiction. At the end of the road, what we're seeing more and more as the WAR gets bigger and bigger over there, the HOPE over here gets really big. Bigger than ever. Because we see not only how we can get past that, whatever that is. What is that? I mean, most Americans would rather sit home and watch Friends. You know, blowing up half the world, depleted uranium. That lemming consciousness. It's lemming consciousness. It's a whole like suicidal consciousness. And then on the other side of that, always the problem and the solution together. But the solution, and that's the key piece, is really always a much greater solution than we could have ever envisioned, and it's much greater than the problem ever was. So it delivers not only the solution, but more solutions, and is actually going to get us to a higher level than we were before. And that's probably why this is happening. It could have been paradise on earth for 5 billion years, and then God said, this sucks. This is boring. Roll the dice. Boom. Next thing you know, we showed up. Could have been that one. You never know. You never know. Why live food? It's normal. It's natural. It's original. It's as ancient as the ageless, and it's as new as the future. If deer sat around a big pot, you know those big pots they used to cook people in? Cauldron. Imagine if like 50 deer decided they were going to go pick the grass and then boil it all and then eat it. How many deer are doing that? That's how I got into it. I mean, this is what gets me. Where's the scientific evidence? Right here. 15 years. Live food. Right? All over the world. Traveled all over the place. As active as any entrepreneur or person in the world. There's your scientific evidence. I'm still alive.
You look great.
Feeling good. On 3-4 hours of sleep over the last 2 days, because the night before last I didn't sleep at all. So the last 2 days, 3 or 4 hours of sleep. A friend of mine, Dr. Tony Wright out of the UK, recently broke the world record in staying awake. He's been on live food as long as I have. We started about the same time. And he wrote a book on it. Because his whole work was about the right and left hemisphere of the brain. You want to hear the latest news? Check this out. Here's the latest. He discovered and proved, and it's now a fact, that when we get onto an aberrant or a diet that has nothing to do with what our original diet's supposed to be like, you know, basically eating chemicals, that we become right brain dominant, or I'm sorry, left brain dominant, and that causes the abacus counting, administrative, bureaucratic nonsense that we all have. And that live food actually starts to convert you back over to right brain dominance, and that the right brain doesn't need to sleep, but the left brain does. Now, how many people have done administrative work all day and felt they were like dead tired? How many people played around in their imagination all day and just kept going? How many people found that late at night, when that beautiful person rolls up right next to you, that you suddenly have a lot of energy and you're awake again? What a discovery! The discoveries of the future will not be headlines. They will not be headlines because it's all going to the internet. Everything's going to the internet. And the internet, it used to be, remember, ABC, CBS, NBC, and 8 hours of PBS. Now what is it? Millions of websites on every different subject you could possibly imagine. So in the future, what the headline is whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be. You want to find out what's the most powerful superfood in the world? Google it. Want to find out how yoga can heal you? Google it. It's all there. That's where we're going. So it will not be like on the front pages of a newspaper that's produced by beings who are not exactly in the right frame of consciousness to produce massive healing effects all over the planet. Right? Am I right or wrong? Right. Is their thought process, we're going to produce massive healing for the entire planet? No. And actually, where is people's thought process most of the time? Survival. Survival issues. Sex, survival, that kind of stuff. And has anybody noticed that when you start channeling in wheatgrass through your body, sprouts, organic foods, fruits and vegetables that are actually have nutrition in them, superfoods, the right kind of herbs, that all of a sudden the dominant thoughts in your mind has changed. Has anybody found that to be true? It's radical, actually. And it does indicate that you are what you eat is deeply powerful in a way that we never thought before, and that our thoughts have been manipulated by what we're eating. The thoughts that we can generate out of here. That our soul may have been hijacked. Our soul, actually, a guy said to me years ago, I said, you know what the problem is that people's souls aren't even in their body. There's so much pain, their soul doesn't even come completely in. So they're most of the time out to lunch, literally, metaphorically, and metaphysically. Because they're not completely in their body. So therefore, it's like, have you ever wondered, like, if you have a problem with my liver or something, oh, we'll just go and cut it out. They say, okay. Has anybody ever wondered, like, how people just fall for that? Like, don't you want a second opinion? And it's because they're not completely live in their body. But live food makes you completely live in your body. And it brings in this type of health. It's a health where, it's like, people are sick? What? Huh? In this day and age? Like, beyond health. Health is like a massive vista. Like, people say, are you healthy? It's like, well, what are you talking about? I feel the best ever always, in all situations, at all times. I feel the best ever always, at all situations, at all times. Doesn't matter the situation. That's amazing, actually. And what is that? It's just a state of vibration. It's like a vibratory state. And even under the most insane, I mean, 2007 was a crazy year for me. You couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. Probably for everybody. We had a rough 2007. It was a 9, right? So it's a closure. 2008 is looking a lot better. It was a rough year, but you know, I just thought, it's like Monopoly. You know, do you eat junk food because you land on Park Place? Does anybody play Monopoly? Does that still exist? Right? If you hit Park Place and you have like $500 left, that's it, you're done, you're out of the game. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. The universe must want me to get out of this game. There's an important series of discoveries, I believe, that have come into our field, the field of healing and nutrition, that I think are really critical. One of them is the way, it's like Louise Hay's book. By the way, she comes to all the raw food seminars. She's amazing. Her book, how it talks about the patterning in of the emotional problems into the physical parts of the body and how that works. And that patterning in can affect generations down the line, right? And that can then be passed on as a kind of almost a miasm or a precondition that then gets passed on. It's like alcoholism, then gets passed on to a child. It's not really genetic, but it's kind of genetic. And then we got to work all that stuff off of us. And the discovery is that live food can not only do that, but when you eat live food, something really interesting happens. And that is your synchronicity ticker starts to go click, 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 and starts to go into a kind of the bizarre zone. Who's with me on that? And shows you like what you should do. It's like, oh, it's all right here. It's all right. There it is. So that synchronicity is some kind of indication that we're in the flow. And is actually a phenomenon that we have to get more into in order to develop the technology of the future. Because synchronistically, we won't be able to line up all the synchronicities if we cannot get into the flow to create and develop and innovate the technologies that are going to save us from lemming consciousness or depleted uranium consciousness or chemtrail consciousness or whatever you want to call it.